When as a compensation administrator of SuccessFactors or as a consultant migrating a configuration to a new environment, you really want to make sure that you give yourself time to test by launching worksheets, whether it's on a actual template that will be used eventually or with a testing template. And while you test in that environment, you really don't want any email notifications to be sent out to managers or participants to the workflow. So in this recording, we'll look at the ways to turn off all notifications triggered by the compensation module. We will start with something that is very common and that all customers do when preparing a new cycle for a new year of compensation reviews, which is the copy plan feature. So I'm here looking at the 2020 salary planning, and we will duplicate this template into a 2021 version by using the copy plan feature. So I will call the new one 2021 and clone the eligibility rules and click on copy. I also want to update these effective dates and copy it. So what happens when a template gets duplicated in terms of notifications? Well, even if you turned off all notifications that you had that were tied to the 2020 salary planning, every time you duplicate a template, the email notifications get turned on by default. So before you launch a round of worksheets with the new template, you really want to go to the email notification template settings feature of the admin center to turn off all notifications for this new template. So to do that, you need to go as a system administrator to type email in the action search or people search here, and go to this one, email notification template settings. And here, the 5 most important notifications to turn off for compensation are the document creation, the document routing, the document completed, the document forward, and the document deletion notification. For each of these notifications, if they have a checkbox next to them, and even if they don't, I would recommend still doing it, you're going to want to come here and click on each of them. Once you click on each of these notifications, you will see their name show on the right side. Once you see their name show on the right side, the next thing you want to do is go to click on Customize Settings for Firm Templates. And here you can see that the notification called Document Creation notification, this one, was turned off for Salary Planning 2020. But because we just duplicated this template into a new template, now it's turned on. And we really want to turn this off to make sure nothing gets ever triggered by any action we take while testing. So I will turn this off, click on close here, and still on the right side, we want to navigate to save changes here. Click on save changes, get the green confirmation message, and do this 5 times for the 5 different notifications. Once we've done this, there's something else we want to make sure of, and that takes place at the template level. So we're going to go back to the admin center and navigate to our 2021 salary planning template. And here, once we click on it, we want to navigate to plan setup, advanced settings, and scroll to the bottom where we're going to find a feature here under advanced setting called disable send email notification in executive review. What happens if you don't disable this? If you don't click here on disable send email notification in executive review, if you have access to executive review as comp admin or even as a top executive testing, you in executive review, there are 2 checkboxes at the bottom of the screen, which allow you to, whenever you make a change from the executive review, to send an email notification to the original planner or the current reviewer of the affected compensation form. So here it's showing empty and blank because we don't have any employees, we don't have any worksheets. But if we had some and we were working on changing a recommendation and we check this box, it would send an email. So the best way to make sure that we don't trigger any email to anyone when testing is to turn off these notifications completely while we're testing. So let's go back to the admin center and click on the name of the template and turn off these notifications. And click at the bottom on Update Form Template. So we are good with this one. Now the third step is a little trickier. It has to do with something that we'll see in a second by proxying. I will proxy as Allison Mahoney, who is the most famous compensation planner in this demo environment that I used in most of my recordings. And I will show you something that shows on her profile that you may not be aware of because it's pretty recent. It's a notification that gets triggered through intelligence services, through the notification icon for intelligence services here. So let's click on it. Here, when we click on it, we can see that we have a notification here on top of notifications from Employee Central, such as this one, letting Allison know that one of her employees has been terminated. We can also see that there's a notification here related to the compensation cycle. And this notification is only triggered on the profile when changes are made through the executive review. So it's important that if you don't want anything related to compensation to show on manager's profile or any planner's profile when you as comp admin are making a change on someone's recommendation from the executive review, it's important to turn off these notifications completely. To do so, to make sure that they disappear, well, they won't disappear. The ones that have already been created, like this one, can be deleted through a job in provisioning. But what we can do as an administrator is make sure that no new notification gets triggered and shown on this page here. So to do so, we need to go here and type notification. Oh, actually, we need to be as a system administrator. So I'll become self. It's most likely that comp admin will not have access based on your system RBP setup. Comp admin will most likely not have access to what we're going to search here. So you need to be in as a system administrator and type notification and select notification configuration. In notification configuration, you want to navigate to all modules and click on compensation management. And you want to make sure that here this is off. This is what will make sure that no new notification will show on this intelligence services notification here whenever you make changes in the executive review for the compensation module. So once you turn this off, click Save. And you are good to go in terms of launching worksheets. You can go ahead and launch your worksheet for the new cycle. And once you have done the 3 steps we just discussed, nobody will ever get any emails. Now, as a system administrator, you may get some emails because there are some emails that cannot be turned off. For example, when you launch a worksheet, let's talk about 2 different emails. The first one is an email that gets sent to the administrator that triggers the job. So in this case, I'm connected as PS admin, but if I were to proxy as comp admin, and if the 2 accounts had 2 different email addresses tied to them, then it would get sent to either email address from the account that triggered the job. So here as PS admin, I go into my 2021 salary planning, and if I apply the eligibility rules, which is what we recommend to do before you mass launch any round of worksheets. So if you go here under plan setup, plan details, eligibility, and you click on apply the eligibility rules, you get this job that you can track from monitor compensation jobs that will apply the eligibility criteria that you've defined in your rule to all employees in the database before you launch the worksheets. So when this job finishes running, you get an email sent to your to the email address that's tied to this account to let you know if it worked fine, and if it didn't work fine, why it didn't work. Another email that you will always get is an email that gets sent to you, still the system administrator that triggers the job when you mass launch the worksheets. From here, manage worksheets, create worksheets. So when you do that and you click on launch plan, you will also get an email. Finally, the last thing you want to check in case you're working with a variable pay template is you want to make sure that the variable pay individual view is turned off before you launch variable pay worksheets. Let me show you where that setting is. If you have a variable pay type of template or a total compensation type of template, you want to go here, click on your template, and navigate to Plan Setup, and scroll down at the bottom here, click on Show More under Calculation Settings. And you want to make sure that the live profile visibility is set to Hide Live Profile View. What does this do? What does this setting do? This setting is a setting that is called the Variable Pay Individual View. And if you leave it on Display Live Profile View after form creation, any employee that gets added to an incentive planning worksheet will have a link show on their profile, on their Employee Central profile, that gives them access to the details of the calculation of their bonus. So let me give you an example while this is still selected as Display Live Profile. So let's say I just launched this worksheet here for incentive planning. And I kept the Display Live Profile view. I just launched it. Well, right after I launched it, I know that one of the employees in this worksheet is called Pamela. So if I proxy as Pamela, and I go to my profile in Employee Central, and I go to Compensation Information, I can see a tab here that is most likely configured in most customer environment called Variable Pay Individual View. And as soon as a system administrator launches a worksheet for me, if this tab is configured in Configure Employee Views, I will get a link to just the detail of my individual calculation. So let's click on it and see what Pamela sees. So as we can see, she can see the detail of her bonus calculation when she clicks here on View Details. She can see all the positions she had during the year, all the different assignments. And so the idea of this feature is to allow employees to see if, in case they had different positions during the year, the detail of the calculation, so that when you generate a compensation statement for all employees in your company, you can tell them, here's the overall outcome, this is your bonus. If you would like to see more details of how the calculation was made and what data was used, please go to your profile and click on Variable Pay Individual View. So as we just saw, it is really important that this feature only gets turned on once the process is completed, once Compensation Administrator has validated the data, and there are no more overrides likely to happen or changes, which is why you should always remember to turn that feature off when you work in a production environment. So as we said, to turn that feature off, you need to go to Plan Setup, Settings, and select Hide Live Profile View from there. Thank you.